We're here at Alchemist Nation. We are at the 52 weeks of wealth. This is amazing. Look, if you want to make 6-digit figures or more, you got to be here every week. We go over 52. That's 52. That's kind of like a yearly thing, right? 52 weeks of wealth. Every week is a different principle done by no other than Walter Amarillo, our fearless leader, who has done all the work and now gives it to us in a condensed form so we can go out there and kick. Can I say ass? I don't know. Can I? Well, it would be bleeped if I can't. All right. But here he is, none other than the man himself, the myth, the legend, Walter Amarillo. Give him a big hand.
Welcome back to the 52 Weeks of Wealth. We've been on this journey for the last 52 weeks. Hands to the camera if you're ready to make more money this year and do less work. Awesome. So we got the right people in the room. Give yourselves a round of applause. The reason the 52 Weeks to Wealth started was because at some point I was obsessed with making money, and I was so tired of not being able to have the things that I want, not be the man that I wanted to be, not be able to take time off whenever I wanted with whoever I wanted, however I wanted. Hands to the camera if you're committed to your financial freedom, if that seems very important to you as well. Excellent, excellent. So one of the strategies to get there is to follow the rules. See, something a billionaire once told me is that the rules are the rules because they are the rules. Stop trying to be smarter than the system. Stop trying to think the government is against you. Stop trying to think that all the rich people don't want you to succeed. The truth is, rich people are lazy. We would love you to succeed because it means you can take our money and put it to work for us. That's what we call passive income. When somebody else is doing the work and your money is working harder than you are. Hands to the camera if you're committed to building passive income for yourself. You'd love some of that. Maybe that $10,000 a month is a nice starting point. Well, in order to get there, it does take having some money, which is why we put the mission together of 100 millionaires. The mission is 100 millionaires inspired to build 100 millionaires. Wealth Principle 52, we finally made it, right? Many of you have been traveling with us for 1 year, 2 years, or in 3 years. Hands to the camera if you've been with us since the beginning. 3 years, rocking and rolling, hanging out with the 52 Weeks of Wealth, the millionaires all the way across. So let's give our OGs a big round of applause. There are hundreds of people who've been on this call, but only a handful have been on as long as you have. Hands to the camera if you've been here for more than 2 years, traveling along this journey, doubling your income, doubling your net worth. Awesome. Let's give yourselves a round of applause. 2 years, our doubled season, right? And what about the people who came in during 2022, been in it 1 year? Hands to the camera if this is your first year, this is like first completed full year. Awesome. Let's give them a round of applause. Season 4 will be different. Season 4 will be a little bit different. I'll talk about that later. Also, we've got an additional strategy that we're going to use to increase your income faster this year. In 2023, we're going to do something a little bit different, a little more unique. But before we talk about that, let me dive into Wealth Principle 52, Sharpen the Saw. This principle came to us from one of the books written by Stephen Covey. It was one of the most well-known books. We're going to talk about it again later at the end of this because every week we review one of the 52 books of the year. Who here has already committed to reading a book a week? Who knows that this is a very good idea? CEOs read 50 to 60 books a year. And so it makes a lot of sense for us if we're going to be the CEO in our business to get to that level. So we'll talk a little bit about this week's book of the week. It's also the final episode in the season. Wealth Principle 52, Sharpen the Saw. Who here has heard the story of the man chopping down the tree and the old man chopping down the tree? Has anybody heard that story already? All right, so I have a feeling Mike is going to talk about that later on when we talk about the book of the week. For now, I want to talk about you and your success this year. You've been through 51 principles. You've learned wealth stacking. You've learned how to think like a millionaire, how to think that $1 million business, how to choose that $1 million business. You've learned that the point in a business is not just for cash flow. It's to build the business, to sell the business and get rich. Most of the billionaires on the planet have actually sold majority portions of their business. And yet with 10%, 20%, 7%, 17%, they're still multi-billionaires. Hands to the camera if you recognize you can't keep it all, but if you sell enough to the right people, you can have more. It goes against the law that most people believe is real, which is scarcity. Most people think that there's not enough money in this world, but the truth is there's actually an abundance. They keep printing more. And I just found out from Vinny Chopra that there's $36 trillion locked up in 401ks, locked up in retirement plans. $36 trillion is more money than you can even fathom. You don't understand. I'm telling you now, you don't understand it because you don't even know what $1 million is. And imagine $1 million is $1 billion is 1,000 times what a million is. So trillion is 1,000 times more than a billion. Who here has never held $1 billion in their hands? Just want to confirm. I want to confirm that you don't know what it looks like. Excellent. This behind me is a representation of $1 million. This little stack here is just a representation of $1 million. That's all it takes. $1 billion is 1,000 times bigger. That wouldn't even fit in my house. This 3,000 square foot house, it would not fit here. Hands to camera if you recognize $1 trillion is a lot more. Yeah. They don't even print it. It's not even actually printed. That's just digital money. It's not real. They printed though 6 trillion, 3 trillion over the last few years they doubled, by the way, the amount of dollars in circulation in the United States in 3 years. Who here recognizes inflation is hitting us hard. It's hitting us hard, baby. It's going to town. And yet we're still here. And yet we've made more money this year than we did last year. Well, 2022, we made more money than we made in 2021. In 2021, we made more money than we made in 2020. In 2020, we made more money than we made in 2019. There are so many people that I've spoken to that said, oh my God, COVID knocked me out. I ran a speaking business that made all of its money from live events. Live events got shut down for 2 years. How did I make more money during that time? I went back and I sharpened the saw. I went back and I looked at my business and I said, I need to get my skills tighter in an area that I've been lacking, in an area that I wasn't paying attention to, that now suddenly has been exposed to the marketplace as my only talent left that will make money. And that was speaking virtually. I had no exposure to the virtual arena, but I knew how to speak, but I didn't know how to speak on camera. And there, if you've never done both, there is a tremendous difference from being able to hold a person's attention via the virtual world compared to doing it on stage. Who here knows on stage in person, like it's really awkward to walk to the bathroom. Like, the speaker's watching you the whole time. Here, it's just like turn camera off, disappear. Nobody knows what you're doing. Like you could like literally be at the grocery store on this call. I wouldn't know. By the way, if you are on the call and your camera is turned on, it's because you've paid me money at some point. You've joined into one of our programs. You are one of my business partners. You're somebody at a high level. You're a tech company, or you're an entrepreneur, or you're a real estate investor who's already a millionaire, somebody who has come through AlchemistNation. By the way, we've built 24 millionaires over the last few years, not because we were good when we started, but because every year we sharpen the saw. Every year we sharpen our skills. Every year we tweak a little bit. We get a little better at this millionaire building process. We're on a mission to automate the process. Who here would like to automate themselves out of their own business as well? You got to sharpen the saw in order to do that. You've got to go more efficiently into the actions. One of the skills I had to step up on was my own personal speaking. I had to learn how to communicate better. Who here knows that you are the speaker in your business? You must learn how to communicate better as well. That's a skill to sharpen the saw on. What did I say to the client that didn't work out? What can I say next time? How do I sharpen the saw? How do you sharpen the saw? You got to get in front of more clients. The more often you're in front of them, the more you recognize what went wrong, what went right. Sometimes you have to disappear for a little while, document your process, test things out, beta test, go out and talk to clients you never expect to close, just to learn, just to see if you've got what it takes, just to sharpen those skills. Another strategy that we had to increase in order to take it into this next level in this COVID arena was we had to figure out how this whole Zoom thing works. What platform to use, right? What platform do you, who remembers all this? Like not knowing what platform to use, like to talk to people virtually, right? We did a lot of stuff on Facebook. We were doing Facebook Lives. We're on Facebook Live right now. We were doing YouTube, but we weren't sure which one would actually reach our audience and serve them and get them to that next level. We're committed to building millionaires, which means deep relationships. So we needed a platform that allowed the deep relationships, allowed us to track each other and figure out what was going on, but we didn't have it. We didn't know which one. We had to go and sharpen the saw. We had to go and find mentors. I paid $10,000 to learn how to do these virtual calls. Who here has seen me do hands to the camera? Who's seen that? I paid money to learn that. Nobody else does that because they don't know, like that's an engagement factor. That's what we used to do live on stage. We used to, be like, I would just on stage, I could just throw my hand up and everybody else would throw their hand up if they like, it was just unspoken. Whereas in this arena, you have to say it and show it. And you also have to train people on how to do it. Who here has been trained at some point? Hands to camera if that is you. So context had to be learned. I had to sharpen the skill. When we first started, I had no idea how to say it. And then who see me on stage at the 100 Millionaire Summit? Who see me speak on stage? I accidentally say hands to the camera on stage now. It became so ingrained in part of what we do. I got so good at it that it became part of something I accidentally do when I'm actually speaking live, which we didn't have to do for 2 years. Sharpening the saw goes even deeper than just your communication skills. It goes back to what you say, what you do in your business. Are you a service company? If you're a realtor or a real estate investor, you're a service company, believe it or not. Even though you're investing in a big asset, you're actually doing relationship stuff. You're doing customer service. Is the system with which you speak to your buyers, your sellers, or your tenants operating properly? How will you know? The only way to know is to sit back, be on the outside of it, and go and kind of look at it as an observer. Review what you think it should turn out like and see how it's actually turning out. To continue something that's not working is insanity. It's crazy. You've got to practice a little bit. Who here has practiced in the mirror, done your affirmations? Maybe you've spoken before you got out on stage. Before I get to here, I'm speaking constantly in the car on my way home to make sure that I've got this talk right. I'm practicing. I'm practicing during the week. I'm practicing during the day. I have multiple one-on-ones with people just to practice this millionaire building process, to keep going, to keep seeing what's worked. I interview hundreds. I've interviewed over 400 millionaires over the last 3 years to see what works, to document the process. That's sharpening the saw. That's going back and saying, look, I might not have all the answers. Do you know how many gurus out there? Who can take a guess? We're not going to go with the number. It's too many. Who believes that there's a lot of gurus out there who are posting videos but have not reviewed their systems, have not gone back to check if it still works, have not tested? They're just like, it worked for me. I got rich this way. You should do exactly the one thing that I did with no proof. They're not verifying. Don't do that in your business, right? As you're out there, this market is shifting. We cannot evaluate properties the same way we used to. We cannot talk to clients the same way we used to, right? We're no longer in a low interest market, although I'll compare. The interest rates are still lower than they were when I first started investing. So it doesn't bother me. But for many buyers, for many investors, this is difficult. Your underwriting has to change, right? We don't buy at 10 caps anymore. We got to buy at a 12 cap because the interest rate truly is 2% higher. So the return on investment is going to be lower. And if you're still doing numbers and saying, I can make it work at an 8% cap or a 9% cap, you're going to hurt people, including yourself. And if you recognize the numbers have changed. The interest rates are different, right? Your cost of debt is not the same. So your cash flow will not be the same if you're going off of a metric that does not include debt. By the way, capitalization rates do not include debt as a metric. It's everything except for your financing. Hence, if you already knew that, multifamily investors know that. So why are we still buying based on the same metrics? It doesn't make any sense. So we got to sharpen the saw this year. Things have changed. Sellers' conversations have changed. The way we're working with them is different. Subject to keeping the mortgage in place and seller financing have become sexy topics. More sellers are now talking about, hey, I got a 4% interest rate on my mortgage. You might want to take that over. And so, if you've seen this in your negotiations as well, you're seeing it more often. We now have to negotiate and adjust our strategies to say, yeah, I will take on subject to. That's actually a great avenue for me. Or the wraparound mortgage. The wraparound mortgage is an existing subject to plus taking on a seller financing component. Who here loves the idea of a wraparound mortgage? It means no money down on your deal. You don't even have to go to the bank. Absolutely. We love it, but we have to sharpen our skills on having those conversations because the sellers will be I've had sellers tell me, I'll hold paper and you can take over my mortgage. I just want to get rid of this thing. In fact, I've been one of those sellers where I've said, hey, I'll refinance it. You can take over the LLC and I'll literally give you 10% seller financed or 15% seller financed because it makes me money. It gives me a better price of what I want, gets me out faster, and it gives me a good return. Who here knows that you got to practice those things before you go into the battle, right? You can't just go into negotiations cold, being like, well, maybe we should, I don't know. What do you think? No, you got to go in there knowing how to say subject to. You got to know how to do a seller finance deal. You got to know how to combine the two and have that wraparound mortgage. Who's committed to practicing the scripts, memorizing how these things work, the functionality behind them? The only reason we can negotiate is because we understand how they work. If you don't understand how it works, you need to go back to the drawing board, right? Go back to the saw, go back to the blade and sharpen it a little bit. Practice. Have a conversation with somebody else. When I was a realtor and actively in the office, we used to do this thing where we'd sit there and I'd pretend to be a seller and then you'd be the agent and you'd be trying to convince me to sell my property. Hence, if you've heard of role playing before, has anybody heard of role playing? This is another form of sharpening the saw. It's another way of getting back to the basics of testing things out, seeing how you can improve yourself. So there's a couple of different arenas, and most of them do involve how we think or how we speak in high leverage. I'm not trying to get you to make 40,000 a year. My goal here is to make 100,000 a year, or 7 figures, or get that net worth, or get that passive income of 120,000 a year, or $10,000 a month. That's my goal. So I can't be talking about hard work anymore. Hence, if you understand, it is all about communication. It is all about relationships at this level. The hard work doesn't work at this level in the game. It becomes building a team. It becomes building your partnerships, raising capital, finding people who can do the work for you, getting your property management, your contractors, your project managers in place. Passive income is going to be one of the goals that Ron and I start speaking about more this year. The 100 millionaires, this concept of building millionaires was a little bit brazen of me. It was me saying, well, this is how you get passive income. I just shot to it and said, well, this is the easiest way for me to get people passive income, financial freedom, $10,000 a month. Like, this is the fastest, easiest path, is if I just focus on this one goal, it gets the target that everybody else is looking for. Hence, Cameron, if you know, $1 million can get you financial freedom, quit your job, $10,000 passive income. Absolutely. It makes you an accredited investor, so you get access to better deals. So that the $1 million was the big kahuna. But marketing wise, it scares people. When I say a millionaire or 100 million, yes, exactly, Richard. That's why I wrote the book. Broke to $250,000. The smaller chunk was easier for the mind to perceive, to think that first $250,000 is significantly easier. So we're going to be shifting a lot of our message, and a lot of my focus will be on passive streams of income this year. You're going to see me, like I'm already joining masterminds that are obsessed with passive income. These are high level players, net worths of 50 million, 100 million, $250,000, some of them $1 billion. And we're shifting our focus on just passive streams of income so that we can help our investors and our community move into passive streams. Hands to the camera if it's okay if I sharpen the saw in that direction. Would you be okay with that? Excellent. Fortunately, it doesn't stop what we've already mastered on building millionaires. We've already mastered the net worth build millionaires process. Now we're looking to tweak and improve on the passive income structures, because we've got a few that work for us. But what about you? What about your situation? There are some that don't necessarily involve money, that involve just time and structure. Then there are some that involve literally no work in the beginning. It just takes money. So the net worth and the knowledge factor are going to be very important. So we're sharpening the saw at AlchemistNation. So let's give our team, all, Darina, Jen, Mark, Frank, Ron, Steven, all of my business partners. Let's give them a big round of applause. All of our mentors, all of our millionaires, Brian Mazzilli, Melanie, actually we got Jeremy on here. Jeremy's one of runs a platform that we're using. So many great people are behind this, who are doing the research. They're sharpening the saw so we can sharpen the saw so that you can go out and get rich faster. I want you to do an exercise with me, because we do an exercise every week for the last 52 weeks. This is going to be no different. I want you to pull out a piece of paper, and I want you to write down what is the one uncertainty in your business, or the one thing you know if you mastered it, your business would level up. Like I said, in 2019, I knew it was my speaking, and that shift from virtual to in-person, from in-person to virtual. I knew that if I could figure that one thing out, that I would be able to level my game up. And in 2021, I knew when we were leading into the summit, I knew I had to increase, again, I had to go back to stage, and I had to increase my conversion rate in a large room. And my conversion rate traditionally was 10%. I convert 10% of the room into buying a product. I was selling a $10,000 product. I had 100 people in the room. If I made 10,000, if I sold a 10,000 and I had a 10% conversion, that meant I was going to make 100,000. I had to shift my skills. And because I shifted my skills, I was able to get a conversion rate of 24% just by tweaking. And I've hired a coach. It cost me $32,000 to hire that coach. We worked together for about 6 months. And by making that one shift, I earned an extra $140,000. And so, Cam, if you understand, you may have a little tweak, just a little adjustment that you could do just a little bit better if you're in a highly leveraged position. This past year at the summit, our big focus was fill the room. I had to learn the tweak of how do I find more clients? How do I get more customers? How do I get more people into my circle, into my community, and my tribe? And so we focused on marketing. We focused on relationships. We focused on people, referrals, talking to other people. And we were able to put 200 people at the 100 Millionaire Summit. But what's interesting is I sharpened the saw on my speaking as well. And I sharpened the saw on the summit as well. We brought in even better speakers. Who here felt the summit this year was fantastic? It was by far one of the best events of the year. At the 100 Millionaire Summit, we converted 40% of the people in the room. There was 200 people. We converted 40% out of $10,000 product. Product didn't change. Actually, I'll be real. The product pimped out a little bit. We definitely made the product a little better. Hence, camera mastery this year is insane. It's definitely like a next level crazy. Yeah, we do a lot in it. So we did improve the product, which helped with the conversion. This year, we're looking for 500 people at the 100 Millionaire Summit, and it's effortless because we spent so many years sharpening the saw. This year, we're building leaders. This year, we're helping leaders build their tribe, get their passive income. One of the easiest ways to get passive income is to surround yourself with 100 people who want what you got. Another way is to make 100 people $100 a month coming into you. Who here knows if you run a community of 100 people and their membership is $100 a month, you're making $10,000 passive income. All you gotta do is show up to your monthly event. Yeah, that one way to do it. We're having fun with it because that community is also your stream of income. As far as if you're a realtor and you're working with investors and you're running an investment community, guess what? You're going to be able to make a ton of money. If you're a wholesaler and you're running a landlord association, guess who you want in the room? You want those landlords to be in the room. So I want you to document, what is the one thing you could sharpen this year? What's the one skill you could sharpen to reach your goal of 10,000 passive income, legacy wealth for your family, that millionaire status, or just being able to quit your job or financial freedom? What is the one thing that you could do this year? And we got all year to do it. We don't have to sharpen the saw in this week. What I'm saying is sharpen the saw for an entire year, beast mode on one particular skill that will change your life, change your game at a higher level. Hands to the camera if you know what that is right now. You know what that one skill is. Awesome. Write it down, get out a piece of paper. I want you to commit to whether you got to find a coach, whether you got to go to school, whether you got to get a book, whether you got to just wake up in the morning and go practice it for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is. I want you to commit to making that routine happen. Get yourself an accountability partner. Get somebody who's going to hold you accountable, who's going to hold you to the fire, right? This is Alchemist Nation after all, right? We're alchemists. We're not afraid of the fire. We'll go in if it means we're coming out a little shinier on the other side, right? Alchemy is the transformation of one from a state of pain and ignorance to a state of bliss and abundance, bliss and awareness, a state of competition to a state of creation, helping others, a state of lack, insecurity, fear, not knowing, to a state of knowledge, being willing to give and share, and like I said, abundance. Alchemy is a transformation of oneself so you can transform others and pay it forward. Right? We're on a mission to build 100 millionaires who are inspired to build 100 millionaires. The easiest way to do that is to help you get passive income. So we're sharpening the saw this year. What are you going to sharpen? Drop it in the chat if you know what you're going to be sharpening this year. What's your thing? Like I've said it often, you know, we figured out alchemy not on accident. It was very, very intentional. It was really about spending the time. Over 400 books. I spent over 150,000 on coaches, mentors, events, and countless thousands of hours in figuring out how to write these books, on the blogs, the articles. AlchemistNation, we put $250,000 to build that thing for you. All right, that website, by the way, is 3 times the traffic of the National Real Estate Investors Association, which is a huge goal that we had. We wanted to beat the NREA. We love the NREA. We're a big part of it, and we absolutely love it. But for us as community leaders, we had to know that we were doing a better job than they were. Hence, if you recognize, you got to outdo the people who are also serving your clients. Absolutely. So we set that goal. We launched the platform in December of 2021. Today, in 2023, we're now one of the top websites when it comes to real estate investing. We've got almost 1,900 users that are active users who are actively investing, who are actually doing deals together. And it's open, it's free. All the courses are free. Everything out there is available. Actually, I have a really cool feature that's coming out. It's called Homeworthy. We're beta testing it right now. I'm not gonna talk about it just yet, but I got Jeremy, the developer, on. He actually the creator, the CEO. So Jeremy, in like 10 minutes, would you give us a little tour of Homeworthy? That'd be cool. Hence the camera if you'd like to know how we find which markets to invest in. A secret software. This thing is not released to the public. It won't be released to the public until it's launched with the National RIA at the end of February. And right now we're getting to beta test it. All of AlchemistNation gets to jump in here and beta test this platform literally just because of one thing: relationships. Because, you know, me and Jeremy, we had a conversation with each other, and he's like, wow, you got that abundance mindset. I was like, dude, you got that abundance mindset. Like, let's, you know, see what each other does. And we've jumped on calls many, many times. And just recently we figured it out. Like, just finally we're like, hey, like, Your community could test this for us. Who here is willing to test a platform that shows you which market to invest in, gives you all the data, the information? Cool. I like it too. All right. So 52 weeks of wealth. How are we going to sharpen the saw together? There's 4 things that I think are necessary. Very, very necessary for success. The first is you must reach out to new people. You must reach out to new people. In the 21-day challenge, the recession-proof challenge, we do 10 people a day. Who here has been a part of the challenge knows exactly what I'm talking about. 10 people a day, 10 new people a day. This is not follow-ups with old people. Or, I mean, it could be follow-ups with people if you haven't talked to them in 6 months or a year. That could count. It could be your entire Facebook friends list, as Viridiana did in our challenge. You could be everybody you've not talked to, all those friends, all those fake friends you got on Facebook. You go back and message all them and just see if they're even real. And who would love to clean up their Facebook and have all those like non-users like gone? Like the people who are like, oh, I actually don't even like your shit. They're like, I don't know why we're friends. We send out messages and they remove themselves, or you end up getting like, if they don't respond back to you in a week, why are we still friends? Hands care if you understand, it's time to let that go. So 10 people, reach out to 10 people a day. And the 21-day challenge, which starts on Monday, we will be doing this with you, holding you accountable. Who's already committed to this month's 21-day challenge, already in it? Awesome. I cannot wait to see you in there. Stephen Beaver is going to be running avatars. We've got, I think, Dorina, can you reach out to Crystal and make sure she runs messaging and branding on day 2? I think I've got Amy doing the irresistible offer. So we're going to be diving into the second thing. Only 4 people get added to our database. Who here knows they need a database to be successful in business? A book of business, a group of people who know what you do, who like what you do, who have customers, potential customers. If you don't have a database, you don't have a business. You can't sell something without clients. Remember, wealth principle 33 is build your business to sell your business and profit. All the rich people build their business and sell their businesses. A platform or a company is only worth the clients that are going to come back, or the clients that are subscribed, or the clients that are being used on the platform. If you don't have customers, you don't have a business. If you don't have a database to track your customers, you can't sell your business. And so can't understand how important a database is now. We recognize clients that pay, clients that would pay, clients that are of a certain type are valuable. In fact, we've proven it. There are certain clients that definitely would be interested in buying a real estate brokerage, but most people don't want to buy a real estate agency. The only reason somebody would buy a real estate agency is it for the clients themselves, not because they're an agent, because agents don't buy other agencies. Hence, Cam, if you know that to be true, agents don't have money anyway, right? Kidding. Kidding, not kidding. Unless they're real estate investors. Agents who are real estate investors do very well because of the investments, not because of the agency. So agents, what do you do when you sell your business? You sell it to an attorney, because an attorney also has their broker's license, but can actually do the closings. Who you recognizes the list is really important to an attorney, because they haven't had the time to do all that marketing. Me and Mike, we own Alchemist Title. We understand the value of a list. We understand the value of a database. So number 2, so after you reach out to 10 people, number 1, reach out to 10 people every day for 21 days. This is the challenge. You reach out to 10 people every day for 21 days. It's going to get you 210 new contacts, refreshed contacts. Only 4 go into your database daily. Only 4, because 1/3 are going to love you no matter what. 1/3 are going to hate you no matter what. And 1/3 are not going to care about you no matter what. This is sharpening the saw. This is us going back and saying, let's see who we can serve, and just take the 4 from that day who said, yes, I like you. Yes, I like your product. Oh my God, I was thinking about doing what you sell, whether it's buy a house, build, a piece of real estate. If you're a contractor, if you're an agent, if you're an investor, I was thinking about selling my property, right? Those are the people that you want to work with. Those are your ideal clients. Those 4 go into the database. Number 3, we make a post every day on social media where it can be seen. I just got a reward from Facebook today. Who'd like to know what that award was? Facebook sent me an award. They were like, here you go. Congratulations. 45 days of nonstop activity. And this is what they told me. Because you've been nonstop active for 45 days, we have put you in front of more people, which is not the sort of thing Facebook does. Now, being active on Facebook 45 days does not mean I was watching and scrolling. I was not a consumer. I was a creator. For 45 days, I created 3 types of content every single day. That was stories, reels, posts. every single day, one of those pieces of content came out. I do have to thank my amazing team for making that happen. So let's give Feli and Jem a big round of applause for making sure the content comes out, and Darina for making sure that, those girls are always, operating and firing on all cylinders. Because of their consistency, Facebook has shown us more attention, more people. When you make a post a day, I don't want you just to do it on your personal profile. Here's why. Nobody looks at your shit anyway. I want you to go put it out in a group that has your clients in it, a group that has the people that you want to hang with, right? For us, it's real estate investors. We want to serve real estate investors. How do we do that? We hang with real estate agents and we show them how to serve real estate investors. That's can't you understand, but it's so we have high leverage. We hang out with two groups of people, the leaders, and then we hang out with the people who they serve. For you, it may be different. If you're looking for more deals, you need to hang out with people who have deals. If you're looking for more capital, you need to hang out with people who have capital. Financial planners are a great resource for people who have money. People who run the yacht club are another great resource for people who know the people who have the money. The people who run the golf course, the bartenders at the country club, they know the people who have the money. Hence, if you're understanding leverage, those are the places you spend your time if you're out of capital. If you want to spend your time with rich people and become a rich person, you should spend time with rich people. Focus on the best, surround yourself with the best, and you will become the best. Focus on money, surround yourself with people who have money, and then you will be one of those people who have money. Hence, we know this is a simple formula. It's like, hey, you're broke, make new friends. All right, step 4. We read a book a week, but in the challenge over the next 21 days, it will not just be the 52 weeks of wealth. It will be additional different books. Who here would like to know the 3 books that I suggest everybody read if you want to be a millionaire, if you want to be a 6-figure earner, if you want to crush it in sales, if you want to build a community, a tribe? Book number 1 is not going to surprise you, and I'll be offended if you don't go and read it this week with us. Book number 1 is How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I don't say it lightly, and you shouldn't listen to it lightly. Listen to it again this week. I listen to that book often. Every time we do the challenge, I go and I listen to it again. And I've done the challenge 7 times in the last 7 months. Hence, if you understand, this is an important book. Because if you don't know how to win friends and influence people, then you won't be able to change your friends. You'll be stuck with the broke motherfuckers you've been spending all your time with. And as much as we love them, which is why we clearly surround ourselves with them, who here is committed to changing their lives? So then you might want to learn the art of how to win friends and influence people. And you might just want to aim at an audience that has what you want. Please, God, if you want to be in great shape, hang out with the people in great shape. If you want to be married for 20 years, 50 years, go hang out with people who are married for 20, 50 years. Learn how they did it. If you want to get rich, go and hang out with people who are not just rich today, but have been rich for decades, who have held onto it, who have great reputations. Because you can make money, but being able to keep money and be able to create impact, that is a different story. Find the people who've done it and spend your time around those people. Hence, if you're understanding the importance of your relationships, focus on what you get. All right, so book number 2 is Endless Referrals by my personal friend, Bob Berg. He also wrote the book. What's the other book that he wrote? It's
Go Giver.
I got like the whole series. So the Go Giver series. So Bob Berg is a fantastic author, but when he wrote this book, Endless Referrals, it was a game changer for me. Because if you know how to win friends and influence people, and then get your friends to give you endless referrals, your business explodes. You literally have what it takes to just create a chain reaction, a contagious explosion of your business. Hands to the camera if you understand the science behind a virus. It gets into the host, and then it spreads to the next host, next host, next host. Remember the pandemic? A global freaking disease that started somewhere in a bat in China, spread to the entire world, not just the country, not just Italy, the entire world, because of the contagious factor. Imagine if your business had that same contagion, had that same concept of as soon as it touches, it multiplies. That's what Endless Referrals does for you. So we're going to read that book together on week 2. You don't read them all in week 1. Hence the if you understand the challenge is a powerful tool. It's 21 days because it takes 21 days to build habits. 21 days together with me and the other coaches in the room. And we're going to just drive through for 21 days. We're going to crush it. This is sharpening the saw. So the entire year you can move forward with power. Hence, Cam, if you're committed to hitting your goals this year and you need some sort of unstoppable force to make it happen, because in the past you have failed yourself at some level. Who here has let themselves down before? Not the only one, right? This challenge makes you unstoppable because it does the exact high leverage things that are necessary. Last book is Meet 100 People by Pat Headley. Pat Headley wrote the science, the idea, the concept of all you need is 100 people, and here's how you meet them. Here's how you connect with them. So because you already know once you connect, you can win them over as friends, and then you can have endless referrals. Hence, Cam, if you understand now, the science is 3 books. It is 3 steps. This is the mastery. Like, this is how you become recession proof. That's why we called it the 21-day recession proof challenge. And if you're interested in joining, it is $97. I'm not going to take a discount to anybody who says, oh, well, I don't have it right now, because if you don't have $97, I can't help you. You've got bigger problems. Hence, Cam, if you understand, if you don't have $97 to invest in yourself, you're not ready to make money. Money's been a challenge for you, so much so that you just won't be able to apply this at some level. Look, tell me you don't like my hair. Tell me you like this mustache. Don't tell me you ain't got $97. Serena, what is the link? Can we drop that in the chat? It's challenge.alchemistnation.com. While she's dropping that in there, while you're signing up, the challenge starts Monday at 1 p.m. We're going to talk about this week's book of the week. Who here is ready for the book of the week? All right. And then right after that, Jeremy is going to show us how to get access to Homeworthy. And you're going to get free beta test access to go through the platform. I made a post on AlchemistNation yesterday, and I tested it for Greg LeBlanc, who's looking to buy property out in Wichita. And Greg's mind was blown. He was like, oh my God, like this gives all the data. Oh, this is the perfect market. He knew now with the data that this was the market for him to invest in. So without further ado, Michael Shine has been our entire year, the year before that, he has been our real estate closing attorney. He has been the closer, the holistic attorney, and as always, he's also the keeper of the books. He's helped me put the 52 Weeks to Wealth together and assign a book to each one of the principals. So let's give Mike Shine a big round of applause. The keeper of the books.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Walter. Appreciate it. So today's book is an amazing book. It's not as much fun as last week's blue fishing, but geez, if you're here, you read the title and you just know the title says it all. If you want to be highly effective, which if you're showing up on a Saturday morning to listen to Walter, you know you want to be highly effective, and this is just a great book. Specifically, we're talking about the 7th habit, which is sharpening the saw. And I absolutely love this. When I first got to the group and Walter would say, you know, I'm getting coached and do this, I'm like, I'm not spending money on that. I don't need to spend money on this. I don't need to do that. But what I've realized hearing this over and over again is you do need to sharpen the saw. And the one that always hits with me is when they talk about Michael Jordan and any of these high level athletes. They have coaches. They do not. Tiger Woods, I was just listening to a Bob Proctor thing. Tiger Woods was the #1 golfer in the world, and at that point changed his stroke 2 different times. He's already at the top of the top, and he changed it even further. So if Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan can be out there sharpening their saw, then you better believe that all of us in this group should be doing that. I'm constantly reading books. I'm constantly listening to stuff on Audible, talking about the stuff, journaling, all that kind of stuff. It's super, super valuable. And that's just one of the 7 habits. I highly recommend this book, and especially habit 7, which is sharpening the saw. So great book, and get it, read it. We don't make you feel guilty. If you want to do it on Audible, that's good too. So that's my review. Peace.
Let's give Michael Shine a round of applause. He is the keeper of the books, the holistic attorney, the closer. And this book was actually, fun fact for this one, this is the first book I ever read in personal development. I actually ended up reading it back in college. When I went to college for 2 semesters, this was one of the books for team building. They gave it to me in my business management course. It was for team building. And I remember reading this book and thinking, oh my God, my whole life has been messed up. I had no clue that the world worked by principles and that business and money could be this simple, and that all of it was mindset. Who here's had that paradigm shift at some point and you realize, oh my God, it's actually all mindset. It's all up here. Success is easier than I thought. So the challenge, if you're interested, it is challenge.alchemistnation.com. Once you get in there, you're going to get access to the books and you're going to get access to the missions, the proofing missions. These are the books right here. That's why I want to open this up. So these right here, Endless Referrals, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and Meet Pat Hadley. Answer King, if you now know the books. Awesome. So because I've got Jeremy on here and he is the developer and CEO of Homeworthy. Jeremy, if I give you screen share, can you share just a little bit of what it is? And for everybody who is like what the heck is this thing? If you're a real estate investor, you got to know your market first. The 7 steps to names on deeds are: first, start with strategy, then start with market, your location. If you don't know your strategy, it's impossible to decide what market to work in. And if you don't know your market, it is impossible to do step 3, which is review offers, find deals, get deals in front of you. Hence, Cam, if you understand, step 3 is impossible without step 2. Yeah, it's just, chronological order. You got to get a strategy, get a location. Now, a location should not be willy-nilly. It should be based on numbers. It should be based on migratory patterns. It should be based on rents. Are they going up? Are they going down? Are they going sideways? It should be based on, what's happening in the market career-wise, company-wise. Is it growing? Is it getting more employers, or is it not getting employers? Hence, Cam, if you recognize you don't invest in markets that are dying, right? That would be stupid. That's a good way to lose money. And don't worry, people are doing that, which means, we got to go in there. We got to solve their problems. That being said, there is a way to do it. Use data. And the data up until now has been very hard to get. You have to spend tens of thousands of dollars. And the big REITs do this. The big real estate investment trusts do spend the money on that data. I know some who have spent $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 on the data to make their decisions to decide to go into one market. Fortunately, thanks to AI and thanks to technology and thanks to our good friend Jeremy Goldstein, that is now available to you. So without further ado, Jeremy, if you could show us a little bit about Homeworthy and how it works and simplify it so that us real estate investors can navigate the platform.
Yeah, absolutely. First,
let's give Jeremy a big round of applause, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate being here. I've really had a great time getting to know Walter over the last year since we first met, and really appreciate his dedication, his intelligence, his hustle, and I'm really excited about this partnership. So yeah, first things first. Thanks to Walter and to all of you. Walter did a great job, really sort of explaining what this thing is. It's a housing market data service. It is really that. It's that step 2. It's helping you understand markets, their positives, their negatives. We tend to take a bit of a longer view. It's always easy to get news about what's happening right now. I think it can be harder sometimes to put perspective on things. Like, what does this really mean moving forward for the timeline that I'm really going to be doing my investing? Today isn't necessarily the most important day. Tomorrow is just as important as today. And that's a lot of where I think our work can come in. It's not meant to take away from that sort of like that necessary boots on the ground piece that you always have to do, that step 3 that Walter was talking about. But our hope is that this work can help make that step 2 easier and faster, help you identify markets that make sense, help you identify the pros and the cons, learn something about what's going on, and keep your process moving fastly, quickly and effectively. Because ultimately, good investors make good investments, and good investments make good places. I mean, this is one of those things that really happens, is that like the more you folks do, make good investments, the better off your communities are. And that's part of why, people like me and those of us in Homeworthy are really interested in being able to work with folks like you. So saying that, I just was going to give this very, very quick primer on how this site works. And quick, 1, because your time is precious, and 2, because I actually think it would be better if you just sort of discover some of this stuff on your own. What the things though that you really need to know? Well, 1 is that this is going to be free to everybody in Alchemist Nation. As far as whoever Walter says is okay gets this for free for 60 days. There's nothing else to this. There's not there's no like future obligation to buy. What we are really interested in is your feedback and your insights and your expertise Because ultimately, the more we know from you, the better we can serve you. So that's what this is. That's the exchange here. So that's thing one.
So what you're saying, Jeremy, is this is a beta test.
This is a beta test.
Hands to the camera if you're familiar with how we beta test.
Yeah.
We go in hard, we mess it all up, we give our data, and we move forward. We use the heck out of the platform. So carry on.
And that's what we want. No, please. That's great. Yeah, and Walter's right. This is going to get a much larger rollout in the very near future, and I would much rather it be in front of you folks beforehand. So that's thing one. Thing two, this is an interactive map. I mean, the idea here is that at multiple spatial scales, you can click on a place, you can search for a place, and it will pop up information for you, depending on what it is that you're looking for. The easiest way to navigate with this thing is that there are data layers, this map legend, and that the different layers can tell you different things. Some of the things are very simple. Sometimes it's just all I want to know is the home value here. Here, sorry, let me move my face out of the way so I can interact with this thing. So some of them is just I just want the housing prices. It'll pop up. You can click on one and it'll give you
indicators on here. So I know Richard Ellison or Brian Mazzilli. Which market would you be interested in? Whoever unmutes the mic gets to say the market.
Oh yeah, we could click on some places.
Ohio.
Fall River.
Ohio.
Where in Ohio?
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
There we go.
Right. Cool, let's do it.
Indianapolis.
Sorry, Christina, you got lag, girl. You're a little late.
Texas.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah, so here's the thing. There's going to be lots of opportunities to play with this. This is the idea. And so depending on where you go, you can zoom in, you can zoom out, you can look at what's happening for, Cuyahoga County. If we zoomed further out, you could start there. And then you get your little pop-up. And depending on which data layer you care about, maybe, it can get very specific. I just want one thing. Maybe you want to know something like, I'm really interested in where the places that are good, like buy and hold opportunities, right? So sometimes we're trying to answer questions. Sometimes we want to know what's like the market's health, the housing market health. Give me like the 5 or 6 things that matter and what the issues are. Sometimes you want to do like a really deep data dive, and then you could click on this full data summary layer and start exploring. And I will click on that just briefly. I mean, just so you can see at least the depth of what it is that we're trying to provide. That starts with, you need a 30-second summary of a place, that's fine. You want something that's got scoring in it, that's fine. You want to know what the influencers are in the near term, we've got that. You want to know employment trends, you want to know migratory trends, so all the stuff that Walter was talking about. You want to know how things look in the near term versus the long term, it has all of that. And so it's really just about exploring with these different layers. I wanted to show you that. I also want to show you this query tool. Sometimes what is really helpful is to say, I have a set of things that I'm looking for in a place. I'm looking in Cleveland and I want to find places that have, maybe these kinds of renters, or they have these kinds of conditions, or these kinds of opportunities. You click it, you put in your information to a query. This takes a few seconds to load, but while I'm talking, so you put your information into the query, hit run, and it'll zoom into those places that meet that criteria. So you can already find the submarkets that meet your criteria. So that's under this query tool, right? There's map legend, and there's query tool. There's other stuff to play with, but really the last thing I wanted to show you, and then Richard, I'll be happy to get into it with you. The last thing is this thing right up here in the top right corner, super important to me. Send feedback. It's just a link to my email address, and I would love to hear from folks what's working, what's not, what you like, what you don't. What are some of the questions that you wish data could answer? And like we can, I'm very confident in our ability to curate this in a way that gives you the answers you want as quickly as you can, so that we can move forward and make good investments. All right.
So I dropped the link in the chat. So it's a long link. I can't just say it, unfortunately on the call, maybe at some point we'll simplify the link. Maybe Ron can get us a domain and we'll simplify it. But for right now, the link is in this particular chat, or you can go to AlchemistNation.com, and at AlchemistNation.
I've got a short one too. If you look at mine, I've got a short little link.
Awesome, thank you. So that is the link to get access to it. The password. Now the password is super secret. It is my name. If you know me and you know how to spell my name, you're going to be fine. First name only, with a capital G. So it's Gualter. Jeremy was very creative with this password. So use that link, go and test it, have fun this weekend, sharpen the saw. Sharpen the saw. If you know for sure that you're ready to do it and you need that accountability, join the challenge with us. If you've been through the challenge before and you know that it helped you before and you know that you want to start and you really want to crush it this year, join the challenge with us. We're really serious about this passive income this year. Building the 100 millionaires will happen no matter what. That's just what we do. It's what we do just by showing up. But getting your passive income so that you can spend more time working on that $1 million net worth or spending time with your family, that's really becoming on our hearts as the priority for AlchemistNation. Hence, Karen, if you're okay if we adjust the passive income. I know my people. Well, give yourselves a round of applause. I am absolutely blessed, thankful, and honored to be able to serve such an amazing group of people who are abundance mindseted, who are sharing with each other opportunities, who are paying it forward, who are helping each other get to the next level. For our mentors, let's give our mentors and our millionaires a big round of applause who've been helping people out with getting you to the next level, your alchemists. And for our business partners, people who are building funnels, landing pages, workflows, let's give all of our partners a big round of applause, writing books. We would not be able to get here if it wasn't for you, the community, who are dedicated, who are committed to your own personal success, to the success of the people around you, to your families, to seeing what is possible, just having a little bit of fun on this journey. Look, the time's going to pass either way. But the next 3 to 5 years could be very different if you're committed to your success. If you're committed and you set a goal, look, you wouldn't go on vacation without planning some things, right? Hence, Karen, if you plan for your vacations, this next 3 to 5 years is going to happen either way. Let's put a plan together. Let's get you to the top. Let's get you some passive income. Look, it doesn't take long to get there, right? It takes 2 to 3 years. Passive income's a lot easier than $1 million. Let me tell you that much. This passive income game can be done much faster. The $1 million takes 3 to 5 years. Passive income I can do in a year or 2 years, right? I can get you out of your job. Like that part is a lot easier. Here's the challenge that I put out to you: is join the 21 day challenge, the recession proof challenge with us. Join that challenge, and then take every mission that I put out for 21 days seriously. To the extent that you do it, you will see success. To the extent that you don't, results may vary. That is my guarantee for the 21-day challenge. Hence, Karen, if you know you're committed to your success, awesome. Let's open it up to questions. Take a few questions before we jump off.
Can we start with the questions now?
Rolling, run it, brother.
So today has been very serendipitous because one of the things that you mentioned was about buying an agency, right? And I actually came to terms to purchase a property management agency just yesterday, right?
Because it's got clients.
Yeah. And your perspective is exactly what I'm buying the agency for the contracts, right? For the clients, right? So about $231. The next thing you talked about that was also serendipitous is funding, right? And I'm looking for funding to actually purchase this agency, and I'm getting a very good deal where they are seller financing more than half of the cost of the deal, right? So if you can provide some guidance on that, or if I can talk to someone Alchemist,
yeah, man,
see if we can get some.
We got Frank Montero's on the call right now. So Frank runs Alchemist Financial. There's a good chance. I don't know if we'd have to structure it as a business loan or if we'd structure it as a commercial acquisition, but either way, we can do either one of those loans. And if you already got 50% covered, we're fine. We can get the rest.
Okay.
So that,
and then the last thing is the closing. I need a because I contacted the title companies that I would normally work with to close a business deal, and they said that if it has land, it can do it. If it doesn't have land, it can't. So I need someone who can close. I don't know if Mike Shine can close the deal, but I feel
like Mike's the closer. If he can't close it himself, he'll find somebody who can. He doesn't say no to helping our community out.
Well, then, yeah. So this is a great call because I mean, all the problems I was having yesterday, today just seems to be solved. So anyone who is doubting AlchemistNation, undoubt it right now because they're solving problems without even trying.
Let's give rolling a round of applause. Congratulations on another 210 doors through an acquisition. Right? You don't have to call nobody. Just one client, one person.
Hey, Roland, how much money of your money are you putting into this?
It depends on what I need to
Goose
put
egg,
into
right?
that.
No. They got 50%. You're looking for 50%. How much of your money are you using to invest in this?
I'll be honest. I'm going to have to put a deposit down in escrow, so I'm going to be putting down anywhere from 10 to 20.
Oh
Not
gosh,
bad,
10
man.
to
Not
20.
bad.
I don't know, Walter. I don't know. 10 to 20. That's a lot of money.
There's a good chance we can structure it so he gets it back too. Right. So like
Exactly.
up front, he may have had to put some skin in the game, but I think we structure it properly, you'll be able to get some money back.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Listen, I don't know who I need to talk to, how I get connected. Let me know in the chat. I'll get the conversation going after this call.
Absolutely. I've made a lot of promises, but Frank's smarter than I am. So Frank is driving right now. You can go to AlchemistFinancial.com. AlchemistFinancial.com and just go and submit your request. And just go to quick quote and just say, hey, this is for a business. And Frank will reach right back out to you.
Great. Thank you.
Awesome. You're very welcome. Yeah, one more time. Let's give rolling a round of applause. I love it. That's a great question. Acquisition of businesses. Oh my God, there's so much money in businesses this year. So much money. What are the questions or comments? I see Deborah's unmuted her microphone. She's one of my favorites. I'll be real. She's been through the challenge so many times.
No, I can't wait to come to the challenge. Actually, on February it is 6th. No, I just unmuted it just to feedback off of him when he was saying like he had all those problems yesterday and he woke up today and we solved them all. That's who we are. Like we're solving our own problem within our own community. So that's all. So he woke up, went to bed with problems. Yo, you don't go to bed with problems. You just leave them where they at and you wake up. Is always the solution, especially if you guys are here. And one more thing, if everybody reviewed my video that I put out, I appreciate it. I was just waking up in the morning doing nothing, thinking about AlchemistNation, but they are to come. And Walter, congratulations. I started getting jealous. I started writing down, I got to do more reels. I got to do more videos. So that's all I wanted to say, Walter. So hope everyone have a good weekend. And I got to go because I got to feed the homeless.
Let's go give Deborah a round of applause. She's been helping the homeless for a long time since we've known her. She's always been giving back. She's also a great wholesaler, and she's really a hustler. She follows the challenge to the T. Go ahead, Thurban.
I had a question. So it was like with sharpening the saw, this is just a thought. Was the reason you put it last because you'd be sharpening all the other principles that came before it as part of that? I thought that was kind of like a correlation I saw.
I put it last for that exact reason, because once you've gone through the 52 weeks to wealth, you got to go back through the 52 weeks to wealth. By the time you've gone through it after a year, your business is so different when you start over. It's like a whole new, your mindset is at a whole other place. You're now looking at, think $1 million, you're now looking at adding another component to your business that makes $1 million. Instead of going after 1 million, now you're getting that second additional stream of income that makes that $1 million. In step 2, principle 2, you're looking at that second component of, can this make $1 million? If it doesn't, I'm not adding it to my business. Or how do I get the next million to my business? So the entire time you go through it, the wealth principles are timeless. It doesn't matter if you're coming in making 10,000 a year, if you're making 10 million a year, these wealth principles are exactly the same. So 52 had to be sharpen the saw. I had to say, look, you've done great. Go back and start over so you can continue improving. Exactly. It's the most powerful principle there is. That's why we left it for the end. Had to make sure you were ready for
it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Let's give Thurman a round of applause. He just wrote his book, How to Read 100 Books a Year. Actually, how to read 50 books a year. He reads over 100 books a year. Go ahead, Christina.
No, that was the 4th book, actually. I have 2 books in reading, so.
Actually, Chong, I saw your hand up, brother. If you want to go.
Yeah, I just want to shout out. Just closing my first deal on Monday. Big thanks to good friend Brian. That's all he coached me through it, and
awesome, Chong.
It's exciting. Yeah, the whole process, the universe aligns when you're working with the right people. You know, proximity is key, guys. You gotta shift. You gotta get in front of the right coaches, the right people that are just constantly reaching back and giving. So I'm really excited for this year because I'm a rabbit. So if you pay attention to the Chinese zodiac,
It's the year of the rabbit.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just want to
Serena's
give
also
thanks.
a rabbit, so she's all excited about
Oh.
it. You got
Yeah. So a lot of great people here. I'm here to contribute, and I took a month off, so I'm excited to get back and get going. So I'm gonna be doing the challenge on Monday.
Hell yeah, we'll see you in the challenge. Let's give Chong a round of applause. He just closed on a deal, or is closing on a deal. And what I love about it is
for your share, John.
I love that Brian Mazzilli is one of the mentors that helped him through it. Because I see Brian on AlchemistNation responding to people's questions, like giving some advice, reviewing people's deals, and to see him having a conversation with Chong, who came through the challenge, right? So Brian wasn't in the challenge, never been through the challenge, had no way of connecting with him, but connected in other arenas, and is going out of his way to do it. Brian has a lot of units. You're over 100 units now, aren't you, Brian? Oh, you're right there.
I'm at 89, but we're gonna hit 100 this year.
Let's give Brian Mazzilli a round of applause. He's going to be at 100 this year. He set the goal. I love it. I love seeing our community supporting each other. This is what we're all about. Go ahead, Christina.
Sorry. Congratulations, Sean. I was just gonna ask if we're gonna start this next Saturday again.
Oh yeah, next Saturday. In fact, I mentioned it earlier. What I'm going to do with the wealth principles this year is I'm going to condense them so I can get Sharpen the Saw to start at the 52 weeks to wealth at the summit. So this year's summit was moved to November. So we're kind of like we're aligning it so I can make it work. So wealth principle 1 and 2 will be next week. I'll be combining Think a Million with Choose a Business that can make $1 million. So it's just this 1 year. Every year after that, we'll go back to the traditional strategy. But for this year, I'm going to condense so that we can get it all lining right up to the summit. And then we'll, for 3 days, sharpen the saw together. That way we're over the weekend for 3 days. We're really going to go deep and sharpen the saw, making sure it happens. It's the principle that I want to spend time with you guys. For each one of you, I'd like to be there with you sharpening the saw. So that is the reason for it. And in the past, every year, I would always push the 52 weeks to wealth on the day of the summit. So the year, it just kept pushing along until I realized, you know what makes sense? That's the only principle I could teach at the summit. That's the only one that would make the most sense is this one. So let's give Christina a round of applause. Yeah, girl, I'll be here next Saturday. Where else would I be? We got millionaires to build. We got passive income to go after, right? And if you have this, hell yeah. I wouldn't know who I am without the motivation, without coming in here and having a plan. Like I use it in my own business. Because I'm teaching on Saturday, I'm thinking about it all week. I'm implementing, I'm pulling out like results. I'm working on it. I'm just a week ahead of each one of you. And I'm implementing in my business so that by the time I get here, I could say, hey, this is what we did. And Cam, if you understand, I need it too, right? None of us are above, growth and coming back to these principles. And the easiest way to do it is for you to hold me accountable by you showing up makes me want to show up. So we're a team. And this year, as we go through it, it is an important year. We are in a recession. I don't say that, to be negative or poo-poo on the opportunities. What I'm saying is we're in a recession. Fucking move your ass. This is the greatest time of the fucking year. Like this is like the opportunity. This is the cycle. Like this is not the time to be like, oh, I guess I'll figure it out later. Like, no, we are here. We've been planning since 2008 what to do in the next recession, what to do when the market comes down. Like we've been preparing ourselves. I hope you have been too. That's why you've been in the challenge. That's why you've been doing the 52 weeks to wealth these past 3 years and now moving into year 4. This is it. This is not the year to sit on the sidelines. This is the year to explode. This is the year, like, if you make a mistake, everybody's gonna be like, yeah, it's cool. It was a recession. But if you explode, everybody's like, oh my God, how'd you pull it off in a recession? And the answer is, it's easier. It's just easier to do it in a recession. It's just easier because there's more people with problems. There's more businesses falling apart. People who don't have the technology where we have the technology. People don't have the systems where we have the systems. People don't understand sales, so their business is falling apart because they don't understand sales. We understand sales, or we understand marketing. They don't understand it. Hence, if you understand, this is the year where you make your million. This is the year where you crush it, where you explode, because it is a recession. And so the recession-proof challenge is not about just becoming recession-proof. It is about exploding. Right? This is the year of growth. And if you don't do it this year, you won't do it. I'm telling you that now. This is the year to get it done. Don't look at the future. Don't be like, okay, well, after a recession, like, are you shitting me? Do it now. Because if you can do it here, you're going to explode as the market rises with you. You're going to get the extra benefit of a rising market. Hence, if you understand how that works, the rising tide raises all ships. So if you can build your ship now, you can get on the tide. You gotta get that thing built. Get it as wide as you can, so as it's coming up, it's taking all the gains with it. Clear's committed to making this their year. No BS. Don't let the mindset get in your way, right? Believe in yourself, take action, and show others what you're doing. Don't tell them what you're doing, show them, and then offer them an opportunity to jump in. Hence, if you're committed to taking it to the next level this year. Hell yeah. This mission will not self-destruct, but your business might if you don't take action. Cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best. Let's give everybody a big round of applause. I love you guys. Thank you for your commitment, for staying with us and staying focused. And thank you for your problems, because if it wasn't for your problems, we wouldn't know what to do with ourselves. I'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.